Hello. So this is going to be a response to Spooky University's topic number 67, which is how do we express ourselves without fear? And this was a topic that was really very personal to me, because while I don't have any sort of issue expressing like my love of Halloween or spooky things or any of that, what I do have a problem expressing myself about are any sort of issues that I might have with another person. So, for example, let's see, maybe I'm working with somebody who has done something wrong. I don't know. I'm making something up. I'm making it as general as possible. And I really want to talk to that person about that thing. And so, how to actually go in and talk about that particular thing with that person, and me having the sort of fear that I'm going to hurt them or that I'm going to upset them in some way. That's kind of where my issue with it comes in. So I think, I've watched everybody's response, which absolutely I loved everybody's responses. And I really appreciated where everybody was coming from with this one. And everybody had a sort of a different take on the question itself. And I think Dave Nicholson said that it's kind of something that you're born with it. So either you have a fear and you try to find a way to work around that fear and to just face it and say what you need to say or do what you need to do, or you don't. You're not born with that sort of a fear, and so you just do your thing and don't worry about it. So, one of the questions that I posed was, what are some ways you've expressed yourself without fear? And I think from a what do I like kind of a perspective, and how I dress and stuff like that. Those are things that I've never really had any sort of a real problem expressing. I did fall into the sort of, people would, you have the popular things, and in my time it was Coke shirts, Coca-Cola shirts, and swatches, and Guess jeans, and stuff like that. And so I fell into that need to have those things to fit in. All the while not really necessarily wanting those things from an inside, from my heart. I just, I thought I had to fit in. But then when I realized I could actually be who I wanted to be and not worry about it, it was between middle school and high school, I think, when I really started forming who I really was. And I am that way. The way that I was then, as far as my dress goes, I'm still that way. T-shirts, blue jeans, comfortable shoes. I don't really wear makeup that much. Just doesn't, I want to be comfortable. So, I have no sort of fear there. And then if I do wear makeup, I've tried to be accepting of the compliments. So I'm not I don't take compliments very well. So, I've been trying to work on that aspect, because I know, for me, it's also hard to give a compliment, because I'm always afraid it's going to come across like there's that fear thing, but I always think it's going to come across like it's not genuine, like it's not a genuine compliment. So Anyway, so I've been working on that too, giving compliments. When I see somebody is wearing a shirt or something that I like, I actually am trying to tell them that. If I think that they have pretty eyes or something, I try to tell them that. But then also you kind of have to be careful about the relationship part. I'm not gonna tell my boss or something that I think he has pretty eyes, because that just gets a little, I don't know, it seems a little weird to me. So anyway, so back to the thing that really is my issue, which is, basically confronting people about things. I've done it. I've done it many, many times over the years, and my mom really instilled that in me. Well, really, my mom and my dad and my granny, they all really instilled in me that, as my granny would say, you have to take the bull by the horns, and you have to do something about it. If something's bothering you, or if something's wrong, you need to make it right. And so, that's been instilled in me also by my mom and my dad. But that doesn't make it any less scary to do it, because you never know what somebody's reaction is going to be. So, I don't know. That's the, I guess that's the challenge for me, is there's always that weird, like, butterflies in my stomach, and the fear that it's going to turn into a big argument, or even worse, depending on who it is that you're dealing with. I mean, it's one thing if it's somebody you know, but it's another thing if it's a complete stranger, because that stranger could be, could have a hair trigger or whatever, and be set off by even the slightest whatever, and it could turn out really bad. So that fear is always sort of there. How did you learn from expressing yourself is my next question. And what I've learned from the times that I have expressed myself, and I have confronted people, or I have done what I thought was right, is I have learned that it's worth it. It's worth it to speak up when you see an injustice, or make your feelings known about a thing. If it's bothering you, let somebody know, because a lot of times they don't even realize that they're doing something wrong, or that they're doing something that's could be hurtful or whatever. And the times that people have brought things up to me, and I'm sure that they maybe had a little bit of a fear in them to bring something up to me, I've really appreciated it, because most of the time I had no clue that I was doing something offensive or whatever. So I always appreciated that, and I learned too that everybody is different. Everybody takes things differently. Everybody has their own background and perspective on things, and so I've learned that unless it's an emergency situation, it's always good to try to get to know a person and understand sort of where they're coming from, so that you can talk to them in the way that isn't necessarily inflammatory. It's more a conversation, than an argument, I guess, is what I'm looking for there. What advice would you give to someone who wants to express themselves but is afraid to do so? If it's about how you look, I say do what you want. I mean, yes, you're going to have dress codes at work and school, and you should of course follow those. But when it's your time, when it's your whatever it is, do what you want, as long as you're not hurting anybody else. And I'm, I don't know. As long as you're not hurting anybody else, I think you should do what you want. Now, speaking of confrontation, so, I've seen some incredibly offensive shirts and jackets and stuff like that. So that gets into a topic we did a long time ago, which was political correctness. So, here's the thing. Everybody has their opinion, and everybody has their perspective on things, and everybody believes what they believe. And if they wear that on their shirt, and right now I have Nosferatu, okay? That's not going to be something everybody wants to see, right? I know that. um, but my opinion there is you can look away. And just like your videos, if you do videos, and people come and give you a thumbs down or make a negative comment, my question for that person is, why didn't you just go away, click to another video, go watch something that makes you happy? But I guess some people like to be miserable, or like to say mean stuff to other people. I mean, and whatever. And then it's our prerogative then to delete that comment or whatever. So my advice for that section is, dress how you want. Don't expect to not get attention though. If I forget who said this, I'm sure a few people said this, but people are afraid of what they don't understand. So if you do dress in a non-normal way, you're gonna draw attention. So expect it. Don't think that people aren't gonna stare at you. I mean, I just did a video about my tattoos. Yes, people are gonna stare at me if I'm showing a tattoo. Whatever. People are gonna either stare and point and laugh, stare and come up and ask me to see them, or they're just gonna keep on going, so I think that's my advice there for that piece is do what you want, but don't expect to not get attention. Maybe good attention and maybe bad attention, but you're probably gonna get attention. Let's see, what any other thoughts on this topic? Yeah, I mean, I really, really loved listening to everybody else's input on this topic because it's pretty close to me and close to my heart. And I know that when I was in high school and, well, really more middle school, I got bullied a lot, and it was mostly for my weight. And it was also because I was a nerd, and those two things at that time were, the worst things that you could be, I guess, was fat and nerdy. But so I sort of, I think the thing to know there, the thing I want to add in there is it will get better no matter what is happening now. Just give it another day. And even if that day is not great, give it another day, and keep giving it another day, and know that eventually, hopefully, the people that are around you will either go away, like in other words, you'll graduate, or you'll move, or you'll go to another school, or you'll go to the next grade and whatever. So they'll either go away, or they'll actually age and mature and realize that you can't just be a jerk all the time. That's why most of the time the bullies are teenagers, like kids to late teenagers, I guess, is because they're, I think they're still unsure of themselves. And I don't know if you've seen my video where I talk about being a bully in the past. And I did bully a person. And I feel bad about it to this day. And I've apologized to her. And she forgave me. But it still bothers me that I did it. But I did it because of my own insecurities. And that's not necessarily true of every bully. It's not because of their insecurities all the time. It may be just because they're a jerk. I mean, that's 100% possible. But what I'm trying to say is it will get better. So be who you are, expect attention, good or bad, and know that the bad attention and the bad things may not completely, totally disappear, but they'll get fewer and fewer the older that you get and the older the people around you get. And I really hope that that's true for everyone. It was definitely true for me. And you know what? Now I tell people right away, I love Halloween. I live Halloween all year long. And here's my little skeleton on my desk, and here's my little evil queen and stuff. And I decorate my place, and that's that. And if they don't like it, then don't talk to me. Don't come around me. Don't look at me. I mean, it's, it's simple as that. And some people I know, at work especially, they have to work with me. But they don't have to come over to my desk. They can send me an email or send me an instant message or call me on the phone. So if it, anyway, I'm rambling. All right, so that's my 15-minute response to Spooky University's topic number 57, which is how do we express ourselves without fear? If you have any input on this topic, number one, I would love to hear it, and number two, you should go over to Spooky University and post or copy and paste your URL into the comments section of topic 67 video. And yeah, I'd love to have you in the conversation. All right, I hope you have a good night or good day or whatever, wherever you are, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.